Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. Today we'll be reviewing the final day between India and England of the first Test match. The Gabba, the Sydney Heroics, were not meant to be for India this time around. The pitch deteriorated significantly, and some good bowling by England made sure that they won comfortably in the end by 227 runs. Musti, your thoughts on the Test match?
Yeah, I mean, credit to England. They won the toss. Of course, they got an advantage, but they made full use of it. It's not like they made 300, 400. They went and made close to 600 runs, like 570 odd. And then to bowl, I think the way they bowled in the first innings, I think credit to them. They restricted India. I think India could have scored 450 there, but England bowled really well. I think Dom Bess in particular was good. Some false shots from India's side, but I think that first innings for both sides, that was the key. Then day five is always going to be a struggle. There was talk we discussed about the declaration in my take. Was it too late or everything like that? But day five in India generally is much more difficult, and you saw that inconsistent. Virat Kohli was batting beautifully on the pitch, and then one ball did him. Like he could do nothing with the ball, and it was from Ben Stokes. You could see that puff of dust, and that's it. So day five is always going to be tough. But credit to England, they made full use of the advantage, and they made sure that India would have to bat long on day five.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. I think England, from the get-go, from the toss, everything went right for them. They won the toss. They decided to bat. They put a mammoth total in. They bowled very well in the first innings. They came in the game. The only probably criticism that people were making off of it was the fact that they declared too late in the second innings, or they didn't declare for that matter. But I thought that they just, I mean, they were calm and composed throughout the Test match. They kind of knew their plans were. They had everything in place, and they just went after it. And I think they did it beautifully. Um, I mean, take nothing away from this English side. They were absolutely phenomenal on all 5 days. I think that they barely, except for that one Archer, nothing Archer dropped, nothing else they dropped. They catched everything that came their way compared to India, who dropped a few some sitters as well. So I think the lackluster fielding and the lack of intent in the batting, I thought in the first innings especially was the downfall of this Indian side. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. I don't know if fatigue was to do with that batting innings, but 100%. I think they should have batted better. At least I think they could have got 400, 450, batted another couple of hours, and then you could actually fight for a draw. But I felt that first innings where India batted a few poor shots, some unlucky dismissals as well. But I think yeah, that's where I think when it's a flat wicket first 2 3 days, it becomes really important, those two innings.
Yeah.
Yes, like even while they were bowling, I think 570 was too much. If they got them under 500, like I even said it before, I told you 450, 460, that would have been a good target to restrict England. So I think the fine margins in the first two innings very important. Even if you lose the toss, it's okay. I understand that it's amazing surface to bat on, and it will get bad on day five, but you have to make the most of it. You have to try your best. And I think, like you said, sloppy fielding, they took off pressure with the Root and Sibley when they were batting. There was something there for the bowlers, not something there, but like they were putting pressure on the England batsmen. But then suddenly when Nadeem and Washington came, the pressure came out, and they got settled, both batsmen, and from there the whole Test match went England's way.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think from the England's perspective, looking into the second Test match now, from the England's perspective, it's just more of the same. They just need to continue doing what they've been doing. They have the batting, the bowling, and they'll become confident now after a solid win against a good Indian side. So for them, I think it's just more of the same, and they want to come out, continue to keep putting out the performance that they did in the first Test match.
Yeah, 100%. And can we talk a bit about Jimmy Anderson, the guy,
Oh,
man?
absolutely, absolutely.
A lot of people say like he needs English conditions.
Yeah.
I think when we made our Test 11 as well, like during lockdown and stuff, we put him in the team, and we got criticized a lot. Like they're like, no, you should have put someone else. You should have put this guy. You should have put that guy. But man, 38 years old, and you're picking up wickets like that. He's reverse swinging the ball this much. Yes, there's invariable inconsistent bounce and everything, but to bowl like that, he's uprooting the stumps at that age with it's just unbelievable. And Indian conditions, mind you, this is not English conditions where he's tried and tested and everything. This is Indian conditions.
Yeah.
So 38 years old to come in and bowl like that for a fast bowler, I think he has to be the greatest or one of the greatest. Like this is just incredible, man.
Yeah, I mean that spell really broke the backbone of the Indian cricket of the Indian batting lineup. I mean, 6 overs, 7 runs for 3 wickets. I mean, what else do you want from your premier fast bowler? Sorry, I completely forgot about mention that, but
No, like we were gonna come
absolutely,
to it
yeah.
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely incredible by the lad. I mean, I completely agree with you. I think that he is, if not the top, at least amongst the top to have ever played the game for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Because you have to take into consideration it's the skill plus the longevity.
Yeah,
It's not easy. You can ask the greatest fast bowlers. You can ask Wasim Akram, Dennis Lilly, whoever, like Michael Holding. These guys will tell you that as a fast bowler, longevity, it's not the easiest thing. That's like, injuries, tears, this, that. There's so many things that go for a fast bowler to stay fit for that long. That's a
yeah,
huge achievement. And then use your skill. And I think after the age of 30, his average has become better in Test
30.
cricket. I think he's averaging 30 before the age of 30. Now he's averaging 23, 24. So
Yeah,
and to do it in these conditions, it shows that he's a very skillful bowler. You can't say that, oh,
absolutely.
it's just he needs swing, he needs the Duke ball. It doesn't matter, man. With the SG ball, this guy is killing it. He's getting it to reverse. And he bowls at a kind of pace where it still troubles the batsman. At that age to maintain that pace, it's very
Incredible.
difficult. Yeah, for a fast bowler, I mind you, right? Like,
Yeah.
if you're a batsman or a spin bowler, I still understand. But for a fast bowler to maintain yourself like that, and his skills are next to none, man. He's just incredible, and I'm really happy for him, because I always supported him I thought he was like one of the best Test bowlers. He would be in my team every single time, like World Test team or whatever. And today he's proven why. Like, he's
Yeah.
just unbelievable.
Absolutely fantastic display by Jimmy Anderson. Long may it continue, because that kind of skillful bowling is always a delight to watch. Hopefully not against India so much in the
Yeah,
next
man.
three Test matches, but like long may it continue for him.
I have a
For sure.
question for you. Sorry to disturb you like that, but you mentioned about England, how they're gonna come back, and they want to continue this momentum. They'll be
Yeah.
really confident, especially with their captain stepping up and then their bowlers. They'll be really confident. But for India, how much of a toll does this take? Because yes, they came back in Australia, right? But there's so much pressure there, and
Yeah.
then again now they lost. There's still pressure, because now if they lose even one game, they're out of that World Test Championship. So no matter what you say about this Indian team, they're amazing, but how much does it take a toll mentally and even physically?
Oh, absolutely. I think both mentally and physically, I think this is going to be very, very challenging for them. They will have to turn things around. The good thing about this one is that it's not as bad as it was against the Aussies when they lost the first game.
The
They
36
were
all
all
out.
out for 36 all. Here, there are some positives that they can take. The form of Ash with the ball in the second innings, especially the form of the fast bowlers. Virat coming into his own. Puji scoring that 70 in the first innings. Shubman Gill in both innings looking really sublime. So they have some things going in their favor already. I think that they have some things to improve on. Obviously they have to think about that extra spin bowler. Would they want to consider Kuldeep, or they giving Shabazz another go? That'll be an important decision to make. Washi was good with the bat, so he continues as the fifth bowler. When Jaddu comes in, we have to see how that goes. But maybe very, very harsh, but maybe think of Mayank over Rohit, because Rohit struggled in on
Oh,
both
big
days. But
call, big
I,
call.
I, I'm saying it's going to be very harsh. I doubt that's going to happen. But if they really have to sit down and think about what went wrong, I think in patches, I think India played well, but it was the overall game that they lost out on. I mean, they were behind with from day one, and they really couldn't get back in. They didn't have one day or one session that they could call that completely their own. If they would have had a little bit more, just a little bit more of maybe one or two sessions that they would have dominated, I think that they could have at least drawn this game. If not, at least if not, who knows, maybe gone on to win it as well. So I don't think that they would be troubled mentally as much, because I feel like they had some things going for them, versus against in the Aussies. When they played the Aussies, they were 36 all out. Virat was going back. There were injuries left, right, and center. So there was a lot more pressure mentally, and then
Yeah,
physical, and then the kind of physical impact that it had on them. But here, I think
I
it's a little
agree
bit
with
more
you.
physical, because the conditions also are very, very challenging here as well.
Yeah, I agree with you. And there's a few fresh players like Kohli, Ishant, and stuff. But I'm just saying, like the other older players, it might older players in terms of like Rahane, Pujara, and these guys.
Yeah,
It's probably an accumulation, building up from that series to now. So,
yeah.
but they're professionals, like you said, and I think they will move on from
Yeah,
it.
it's
I
three more
was
games, and then they all have. I mean, the
They'll
test
have a
cricketers
break.
probably have a little bit of a break
Yeah, it's just
with
back to back
Argentina.
with bio bubbles. From I don't know. I just felt that, and then fielding 2 days. it could be a thing. But yeah, I think they'll come. They should come back. But what's very going to be very very interesting is the pitch, because this was played a vital role.
Yeah.
Although India could have done better, no doubt, and they could have actually pulled off the game like they did in 2016. Will we see a rank turner in your hometown for the second test match?
I wouldn't want a rank turner honestly, because I thought day 3, 4, or 5 there was enough turn to excite every spinner who's in either of the sides.
But then batting first will be
Yeah.
crucial then.
I think that instead of adding a rank turner, I would want a hint of grass at least on day 1.
Oh, Jimmy, bro.
Just to bring it in. I mean, Jimmy, or who knows, Bumrah. Bumrah and Ishant also could use it quite nicely.
Yeah.
So maybe a hint of grass would actually really help. Maybe if not even for for the full day, if give the bowler something to work and for the first couple of hours on day 1 and day 2, something, just some nip of the surface or something. That way it brings the faster bowlers in as well. And then the likes of Jimmy Anderson, of course, are absolutely incredible bowlers. So he can make the ball do the talking even on day 5. So he doesn't need that much. But that's my perception. But who knows? I mean, they might go for a rank turner because that suits India a little bit better.
And it takes the toss out of the equation. If it's a rank turner from ball 1, then it just. But that's the thing, right? It's risky because Leach and Bess are now confident as well. And if it goes south, then there's going to be a lot of questions. So it's going to be risky. But I still feel that even losing the toss, I've mentioned this to you before as well. I think even losing the toss, they could have done better. At least draw the game. I think I was expecting that much. Winning the game, you needed to decrease the runs. They needed to pick up more wickets in the first innings, take their catches. But I think in terms of drawing, they could have done it with a better batting performance in the first.
I think so. I think that they could have definitely pushed themselves a little bit more if they really wanted to go ahead and draw the game. But I mean, fine margins, nothing to really panic about, in my opinion. I think that yes, it was a loss, but I think that this Indian side has the character to come back, and I think that they will. Just a couple of decisions. Definitely, the decision of if they want to continue with Shahbaz or go with Kuldeep will be a big one.
I have a question on that. That's what I was going to ask.
He had a fair point. I mean, the ball is coming into both. I mean, if you look at Kuldeep, because he's the Chinaman.
I didn't realize at that time, but when he said it made sense. Like with the leg spinner, if you're a left-arm leg spinner, it's still coming in. It's like an off-spinner bowling, right? Correct. So he's saying it's it's interesting. But that's why they got Rahul Chahar into the squad.
Yeah, so maybe try Rahul Chahar.
I don't know why Chahal is not there. What's his name? Yuzvinder.
Because when Jadu's back, I think he automatically makes that spot. With Washi batting well as well and trying to improve his bowling, I think that he'll continue to take that stake in that. And
I think Sundar is developing into a batting all-rounder now.
Yeah, which is pretty good. I mean, he gives you those 10-15 overs that you want, and then he's also good with the ball, so good with the bat. So it'll be nice. And Jadu also is good with the bat. So 7 and 8, if you can get Washi and Jadu in, I mean, it takes the pressure off some of the top order batsmen as well.
Who would you go in the second test?
I would go Kuldeep or Chahar. If Chahar is an option, I would definitely go with Chahar.
There's news also that Akshar Patel was batting in the nets, I think, yesterday. So there's news that maybe he
but I just
might get fit again.
With due respect to Shahbaz, I think he was poor in the whole game, and I think that was a big issue for us. I think we need someone with a little bit more can get a little bit more tighter and some better lines and lengths, and I think a little bit more consistent. I thought Shahbaz was bowling 3 or 4 good balls, and then he was playing one wide, and that was the big issue. So he was not able to consistently keep pressure on the batsman, and that was a big issue for us. I think that's the biggest call that they have to make. Apart from that, I think that it's going to be a well fought series. I think the one game that I expected England to win is out of the way, so now I expect India to come out and win the next 3.
Yeah, I was actually expecting England to win the game in the day-night pink ball in Ahmedabad. Yeah, I was expecting that. So I'm kind of shocked right now, and I'm a bit worried. I think it could, now England have the advantage. And India can't afford a loss. That's the thing, So I think it is kind of worrying for India, but it sets up for an amazing series. I think, it's not going to be one-sided for sure. Yeah. And for England, there's going to be one forced change. I think Butler will be going back, and folks will come doing that rotation policy. Fair enough that they've mentioned it from before, and to stick to that, I think fair enough. Like because they have so much T20 cricket and one-day cricket coming up with the World Cup as well and the IPL. So I think they stuck to that principle, and it is debatable.
I wonder why they wouldn't bring Johnny in. because he's also a wicketkeeper batsman who could play in the tests. But
Yeah, and he would bat one down and give stability there. I would have done that, but I don't think he's coming back, right? I think
I
Folks will
don't think
play.
so. Yeah, I think
Yeah, I
Folks
think
comes in
Folks will
and
play.
plays.
And Folks, to be honest, is a good player in the subcontinent. I saw him in Sri Lanka like 3 years ago. After that, I haven't seen him like properly.
Yeah,
Like he was the subcontinent keeper. Like he was
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Saha like for India. So I didn't see him after that. I think he's an excellent keeper, batting wise as well. I think he's a good player of spin, but I don't know. It's been a while now since I saw him. So if he's still up to the mark, I'm not sure about that. Or it just could be
We'll
that
find out.
Butler and Bairstow is so much competition, so this guy didn't get a chance. So it could be
Yeah,
that.
yeah, true. We'll
Yeah,
find
and
out.
so force move, and then one more move, Broad for Anderson. Will that happen?
I don't think so. I don't think it's happening for the second test. I think that they might
Mm.
give him a rest in the third and then bring him back in the fourth. I think that's gonna happen, but I don't think it's gonna happen the second. I think he's in prime form, and he's that the day five spell will give him a lot of confidence. I think he'll stick on for another test.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you,
So
man. I asked you quite a few questions today.
no, I think that wraps it up. Looking forward to test number 2, which is not far off. A couple of days, only a few days break, and then back at it. So we'll kind of be ready for that, and we'll catch you right before, and then of course through the test as well.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much. Looking forward to that quick turnaround, and yeah, I can't wait. This couple of days will go back. Will go by fast, hopefully,
Yeah,
so we can see some cricket again.
yeah, I can't wait for it for
Yeah.
sure.
You take care, man. Thank you.
You too.